Hi everyone, and Angela, the angelic Arcturian starseed here, transmitting for you guys once again. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the channel. I'm wearing a hoodie in June, y'all. Not happy about that. It's been cold for like 3 days, like in the 40s and 50s. It's crazy for this time of year here. So hopefully it will get summertime sometime this year in the northern hemisphere. Um, so I wanted to share with you guys today a few downloads that have come through in the past few days that I've been just kind of piecing together. And one of them is about retrieving lost soul parts. I feel like this big purge cycle that we've been in for several months has all been leading back to the inner child. I feel like it's directing us all back into that inner child and those areas in the timeline of our lives where we were fractured by trauma, death, major life events that really blocked or inhibited our growth as children. And I just kind of wanted to point out that when events like those happen, like traumatic events when we're children and we're still developing, we do tend to fractal, like apart. Our parts of our soul stay in those traumas until we go back and collect them consciously. But while those soul parts are missing, we will tend to act out in an unbalanced way because we're not balanced. When we have our souls scattered across many lifetimes, across this timeline, and all over the galaxy. And so I think a big part of the awakening process in general is we fractal out and then we pull ourselves back in together by collecting these lost soul parts and revisiting our traumas, especially our childhood wounds, and healing and resolving those on a conscious level. And then we can collect those parts, and then we start to find ourselves feeling more grounded and centered in who we become when we bring ourselves back into that state of oneness again. So it's kind of this big bang type event when we come in as souls, even though it takes like a long time through many years of our childhood, but we fractal out and then we pull ourselves back together. And so I think that could be relevant on many levels, collective conscious levels and individual levels and cosmic levels. And so I think that's what we've been doing a lot in the past few months recently, is really digging back into those fractured timelines and healing those so that we can collect the entirety of our soul for ascension and just to beat the game. That's part of beating the game, is when you can fractal out and bring yourself back together again. But a lot of people get stuck there and they just get caught in this system of running from their pain instead of dealing with it and doing the work to bring themselves back in to center. And I think as we're children, we are activating those different chakras as we're born, and we move up the scale from root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, and so on as we go through our lives. And if any of those energy centers gets corrupted, then it's going to set the entire scheme of things off balance until we come back and correct it. And we live in a culture that doesn't support our energy centers and our energy body. And we are taught to shut everything, the most important things, down when we're just children and we don't know any better. So shut your imagination down, we're not going to support chakra development or energy development or emotional development or anything, just shut up and listen and do chores kind of mentality. Our culture doesn't lend a lot of support to our children, and our children are our tomorrow. So if we don't nurture and support our children right out of the womb, then we're going to have corrupted adult species as well, which clearly, look around, that's what we have, is just massive, massive wounded people perpetrating more wounding on people. And it's just this endless cycle until we stop running from our pain and we turn around and face it, and we walk back through those timelines and those painful events and all that stuff that we didn't want to feel, and we do the healing and we collect our lost soul parts. So maybe a little good information for somebody that might be kind of struggling with, like, why is all this purging coming up? What is going on? And it's just so that we can come back into oneness, you guys. So just feel the feels and go through the process however you're naturally, intuitively guided to. Also, I've been getting the strange download about... So sometimes I channel messages on my Facebook. Early in the morning seems to be when the channel's the most open, and sometimes messages will just come through, and I'll just hurry and like write a post about it. And the other day I got one from the Hue-Man Arcturian Collective, and when they told me that, I was like, what? There is no Hue-Man Arcturian Collective. And they were like, yes there is. So I hesitated on whether to put that in the post or not, but I was like, well, you know, I'm just gonna trust it. If that's what they say they are, then that's what they say they are. And then right after that, there was a couple synchronicities. A friend of mine sent me a picture of a Hue-Man Arcturian hybrid child, and then I think Daniel Scranton did a video like the same day. I haven't had a chance to go over and listen to the transmission yet, but about the hybrid children. And so the idea of the hybrid children has been coming up a lot, and I didn't think that Arcturians participated in hybridizing humans, but there's a lot that I don't understand about these beings that I haven't been able to remember yet about them. So, I mean, they could be, I guess, but I think I did hear like a Syrian or Pleiadian transmission a while back that talked about first contact was going to be with the hybrid children. We'll meet the hybrid children first. And this was a really old transmission from like 2008 that was channeled. And I just remember that stuck with me, that, oh, okay, that would make sense that they would introduce us to the hybrids first so we could kind of acclimate to the idea of these strange looking beings, right? That's going to be really strange for all of us, even me and us starseeds, because we've become so humanized in this existence that it's going to be really strange, I think, to see like ourselves like, whoa. So this idea of the hybrid children is coming up a lot. So I don't know exactly what that's about. Maybe it's just preparing us for the fact that there might be some sort of contact with the hybrid children. Maybe us as starseeds will meet the hybrid children first. I'm not sure. That will come through more later, but that is something that that has been coming through. And so with that, also getting the transmission about the Hue-Man Arcturian collective consciousness really started ringing some bells in my head, like, what does this mean? Like, it felt to me, I'll tell you what it felt like. It felt to me like it was a partial Arcturian transmission and a partial human, because I've been tapping into this Hue-Man collective consciousness lately. And it's forming and bubbling and coming together, and I've been able to tap into it. And it's a different type of collective consciousness. It's not on this timeline. I feel like it's on a different, higher timeline or dimension or something. But I've been in contact with this, and so it kind of braids. It makes me think of a braid of consciousness between the humans and the Arcturians, and that could have something to do with the hybrids, like maybe they're being that braid. So I don't know, I'm sure that more will be revealed with that, but I thought that was pretty interesting stuff that's been coming through, and I just wanted to share it with you guys, and wish you luck if you are digging through, you know, some childhood wounding and revisiting a lot of that really painful stuff and those difficult fractures, and reliving that stuff that we probably spent most of our lives running away from. But in the process of doing it, remember that you are collecting those lost soul parts, and you are bringing yourself into a state of oneness and reclaiming your power and going from a state of disempowered to empowered. That's what's happening on a huge scale right now with everybody. It's about all of us reclaiming our power and moving from disempowered to empowered. And part of that is revisiting those times when we felt disempowered, when we were fractured, when we were hurt, when we were abandoned, and really giving ourselves the support now that we needed then, and also the understanding of, like, you know, these people that lied and cheat and stole and hurt me were just wounded too. I mean, they were also fractured. So how can you really, you know, hang on to anger when you can understand that they're just fractured as well? We all are. So the cure is love, you guys. Love is the glue that will glue those pieces back together. Like the bowl, what is it, the Chinese bowl with the gold, that they glue it back with the gold, and it's really beautiful. That's what we're doing on a collective level and an individual level, is we're gluing back that bowl with love and guidance and support, and really helping and nurturing each other and sharing knowledge and information, and just being vulnerable and open and stepping outside of traditional, you know, realms. So yeah, I think that's it, all I wanted to share with you guys. But thank you for watching, and please comment what you think about that below, and if you've had any types of these hybrid downloads coming in, I'd be interested to find out more about what that means. So I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye.